And we're live here on YouTube. I'd like to welcome those listening in podcast land, and also my buddy Rich. Happy Halloween, bud.
Yes, happy Halloween.
I guess it's Dia de los Muertos today, but who's
Day of the Dead? Okay, yeah. Yeah. Did you do anything special for Halloween, Mike?
I made chili. So we're the house that did offers, hot dogs and whatnot. Yesterday we did chili dogs.
Oh, okay. That is your.
No, we also give candy.
Thing?
We also give candy. And this year we actually gave full-size candy bars because when you go to Sam's and or probably Costco, it's not that expensive to get just 30-pack of candy bars, and then so we bought 3 of them.
You're out.
We did not run out.
Did you do multiple boxes, or did you do multiple boxes?
We did 3 of them, and we went through 1 box and partial of the second box, but partial is just barely. We ran out of. We gave away all of the Kit Kats from both boxes. We did not. Most of the Reese's are gone, and then there's we still have quite a bit of.
So because you're giving away, because you're grilling hot dogs and giving those out as people are. So is it a family thing that everybody stay home, or did did you or Danielle take the kids out trick or treating for a little bit as well?
So my wife took the kids out. But our kids are small, so they only went around the block to see the people that we know around the block. That's really all they're doing. It wasn't that big of a deal. No, we didn't make a big deal out of it. We're not gonna when I was a kid, we'd go out to Coal Valley and we would go to every neighborhood in Coal Valley, and it would be you'd walk for 5 to 6 hours. It was, and it probably wasn't. It was because trick or treating is only 2 or 3 hours, but you were barely inside for that. Sometimes you had a van that you would do, but for the most part, you were walking and the moms were in the van. So, we didn't do that. They did once around the block, got all the houses taken care of, said hi to all the people, and that was it. It was great.
Gotcha. So, I think we did not hand out candy this year. We just don't have a good setup at our house with the landing. So that means you either got to sit inside on the landing with the door open, with the regular door open and the glass door being closed, so you can see when people come up, or you're sitting in the driveway, waiting for having people come up to you to get the candy bowl. So because we had an appointment up in Iowa City, we stayed up there longer, did some shopping up in Williamsburg. We had a nice late lunch in the Amana colonies. So we came back, and I think there were kids out walking around by the time we were getting back in town around 5:30. But we just ended up, we made sure our light was off before we left, and then turned around and just we prepared to watch the World Series game together. So we had a popcorn dinner since we had a really late lunch.
So when we lived in a split level, it was hard, and I get that. I have decided that if we ever do live in a situation like that, which I don't think we will, I think we'll be in mostly a ranch or where we don't have a split level. If I ever lived in a situation like that, though, I'm gonna set up in the garage, and because I'm offering hot dogs and chili, and I probably should have. Last year we did it, but we didn't this year. We should have. We do hot cocoa and stuff like that, and candy. So we're gonna just sit in the garage. I have a TV in there. I can put a scary movie on, or I can put the World Series on.
Yeah.
And that's going to be.
I don't know, but we also just don't, with where we're at in our neighborhood, we just don't get that many kids. So the kids coming trick or treating are few and far between. So.
Yeah, and that too is an issue. You guys have to deal with it. We didn't, so we don't get a lot of kids. We only went through 30 candy bars. in the grand scheme of things, that's not a ton. I'd like it to be more, but we don't get it.
Yeah,
so.
and I'm sure once we have to face the decision, all right, are we gonna take our kids trick or treating, or are we gonna do Halloween, or are we gonna continue to kind of avoid Halloween? We'll figure that out too. How that's gonna be too. So.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. It's one of those things that
Halloween is still kind of one of those wishy-washy kind of like holidays that we're still trying to figure out for our family on whether, all right, do we celebrate it? Do we not celebrate it? Or just accept it as a familyized holiday, or acknowledge it for what it actually is. So, anywho, so Mike, we got to talk some sports because we got to make this show an hour cutoff time because of where we both got to be this morning. Me with a volunteer opportunity, and you have community breakfast, Mike. So, Mike, we're going to be talking the NASCAR, as it's our show title today. If you didn't catch it, was Winner Take All. So we got a Winner Take All World Series game, and of course the NASCAR playoffs end this Sunday out in Phoenix, which is also a Winner Take All event.
Yep. We also have to talk about the NFL, and we have a very special shout-out to give. I'm going to tease that one.
All right. All that and more, Mike, but what do we got to do first?
We got to roll that intro.
Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa, this is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich.
And we're back live. Rich, before we do all that, we got a poll question to do. What was this week's poll question?
This week's poll question was tailgating and apple picking, our final matchup for fall activities, before we go in and take all the activities and rank them, restack the bracket, and start it out. But more on that later, Mike. But this week it was tailgating and apple picking. Tailgating pulled out as our number one seed when we averaged our rankings, and apple picking making it all the way as a wild card matchup into the finals, Mike. This was a little tough for me because I really don't do much tailgating at events as I may have used to, and I've never been apple picking, but I'm thinking that in hearing you talking about apple picking, it's something you can do multiple times. I'm going to do apple picking.
So I changed my vote.
Okay.
I originally picked apple picking, but we literally were talking about something 2 seconds ago, like right before the show started, and we decided one of the things I was talking about was how much I love tailgating at a NASCAR trip. And if I'm going to rally about how much that is the quintessential part of NASCAR, I do love doing it. I get to grill, you get to play bags, you get to have a beer at 8 a.m. Why wouldn't you pick it? I gotta pick tailgating, which actually flips the script because it was incredibly close. Tailgating wins 3-2 against apple picking. Those picking apple picking, Danielle Hart and Rich Hendricks. Joining me on tailgating was Ron Lehmans and Josh Hendricks. I'm sorry, that to me, like, you get, so here's the other thing. You do you light a fire, so you just have like a bonfire going, and you get to have you get a bonfire, you get a tailgate, or you get the grilling, and you get drinking beer at 8 a.m. Like, how is this not the ultimate in activities? So, did that screw up what your pick was going to be?
No.
Okay.
No, it did not. No, it did not. All right. So, as I alluded to, Mike, that makes up our Elite Eight of fan-selected, with our help.
Yeah.
Fan-selected, because our votes count, of our selected Elite Eight. So, because it's been so long since we've had some of these activities, coming in from the winter, it was a snowball fight and sledding, tubing. From the spring, it is bird watching and bike riding. And from the summer, farmers markets, grilling, and joining them for the fall is tailgating and bonfires. So, Mike, so we don't have to think about poll questions for a while. What we're going to do is I'm going to pick 2 activities that did not win from our previous polls to join the Elite Eight. And Mike, next week you're going to pick 2 activities that didn't win, other than the 2 I'm going to give you, and then that will make it an Elite 10. That'll make an Elite 10, and then the first week, then we'll re-rack them. Then we'll re-rack the polls. Our 2 activities will go ahead. They have second chances, and then we'll re-rack and form the bracket. So, Mike, this week, the 2 activities that did not win that I want to see get a second chance, I'm going to pick Picnics and boating. Both lost in the second round in their seasons. So I'm going to try and get that pull up once we're done off of the air. We'll give you next week's Mike matchup of 2 activities that Mike picks that did not make it into the Elite Eight next week.
Okay.
So you can find your poll questions at Fans of Balls and Sticks on Facebook and also my page. Mike, do you see what's coming up next?
Is it a left turn, Rich?
It is a left turn, Mike. What's after that?
Another left turn, because we're heading into the NASCAR Corner, presented as always by I Sports Cards Incorporated, Moline, Illinois. Check them out for all your sports memorabilia needs on 5th Avenue in Moline or on their eBay store. Once again, that is I Sports Cards Incorporated. Rich, last week we were in Martinsville for the Xfinity 500. Last chance to get into the Final Four. How'd it go?
All right, Mike. So the winner of the race winner was William Byron, who would also have to be my pick for the playoff driver. Mike, your playoff pick of Christopher Bell came in 7th, but his place finish was high in. Ooh, you're right. Did he get in?
Who? Christopher Bell? No. I'll bring it up. I don't think so.
Ooh, I thought he was good enough to get into the playoffs.
No, he did not make the playoffs. Chase Briscoe, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, and Kyle
Okay, yeah,
Busch.
that's right, because of where Kyle Larson finished. Christopher Bell did not get, so that kind of messes with my with our next statement. So anywho, on the non-playoff driver side, my pick of Ross Chastain came in 4th. Your pick of Austin Cinder came in 15th, which clinched the season title for me if we had continued our trend of picking 2 drivers, because even if your pick won the race and your non-playoff driver came in 2nd place, that would not be enough points to close the gap, as I got 3 points this week, giving me a 27 to 22 edge going into the final race out in Phoenix.
Yep. So, what was your compromise, Rich?
Well, no, I thought that Christopher Bell was
Yeah.
also in the playoffs. I did not realize that he wasn't.
Well,
So
but
I know-
I don't think it changes it. Like, I mean,
We'll keep it.
we'll keep it, because if it happened, I mean, it's not going to happen, let's be honest. But if it happened, but you won. I mean, I'm not gonna say I have even a chance that I win. You won the season. That's what happened. So, okay.
All right, but in the spirit, Mike, of winner take all, I know without just choosing of the playoff drivers, which are Briscoe, Hamlin, Byron, and Larson, you were going to pick Denny Hamlin. I that in on the outline. I knew you were going to pick Denny Hamlin.
Even if you picked him, you weren't going to pick him because you were going to pick William Byron because you wanted your preseason to win. I'm picking Denny Hamlin. Even if Christopher Bell would have been in the top 4, I wouldn't have done it. So, yeah.
So anyway, in the spirit of a winner-take-all event, so my other two being my non-playoff driver is going to be Ryan Blaney, my favorite driver, Ross Chastain.
Yeah, so I'm getting Christopher Bell, Denny Hamlin, and Joey Logano.
All right, so Mike, to win it all, to close the gap and have in the spirit of a winner-take-all, in the event that all 3 of those drivers finish 1, 2, 3 on the grid, you'll win it all.
Yeah.
If any of my 3 drivers break up that 1 through 3 finish, we score points as they lie between non-playoff and playoff drivers.
Yep, that's fine. Okay. With that, and it being the last week of the season, we do have a winner-take-all also going on in NASCAR. The lawsuit! Yeah, I know. We talk about the lawsuit a little more than we probably should, but it's news and it's information that you might want to be into. So this week, I don't remember if we covered it last week. They had settlement talks last week. They couldn't come to an agreement. Then they met for a summary judgment motion, and the judge heard the motion, went through all the things, and it was determined, and then he was deliberating with himself, essentially, to figure out how to do this. He didn't fully do a summary judgment. Summary judgment would mean that this is where the case is. This team wins, that team doesn't. It's a judgment that the blah blah blah. But what he did do is he threw out NASCAR's counterclaim of antitrust and collusion, essentially, because they were trying to get other teams to jump on board. Now, here's the deal. From my limited legal understanding and my limited reading of the things, essentially what he said was they were trying to unionize companies because the companies are also essentially the players in this game. So they were trying to unionize companies, and because of that, the two, it wasn't really antitrust. It was, hey, if we're in a true negotiation and you are negotiating with us as the teams as one entity, this is how, then yes, they can discuss and have that conversation. Now, other parts of this update, that really does hurt NASCAR's momentum, at least. I would actually say it really hurts their case that they have the ability to win this case at all. It seems like the teams have all the leverage, and all the probability is on their side. And so I'm guessing, and so since then, NASCAR has said, we want to get this done before championship weekend. We want to get this. NASCAR doesn't want to go to court. Why? Because there are hundreds of thousands, if not thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of emails and texts and all these things that they've had to disclose and that the teams have put into evidence that are pretty damning for NASCAR. Like, as this stuff comes out, it's going to make the France family, it's going to make tons of stuff just look terrible. By the way, one of the things that happened in the last week and a half that we didn't talk about is NASCAR put a motion in that essentially said you're not allowed to bring up why Bill France Jr. the former leader of NASCAR, left the organization. Quick Google search. I believe, if I remember correctly, was because he got a DUI. But it's just, it's so crazy to look at how things have gone through. Anyway, that's kind of where we're at.
Gotcha. I haven't really been following much about the lawsuit. So unfortunately, Mike, I have nothing to add.
Okay.
So hopefully by next week when we go on the air, maybe we'll have a resolution as far as what's going to happen with the lawsuit, or it gives the NASCAR, it keeps the NASCAR corner in the outline as we have something to talk about once the season is over next week. Any other things in NASCAR, Mike?
Not that I have. So let's head over. Or wait, go ahead and take us out, Rich.
Thank you. You got to give our semi-sponsor, our unofficial sponsor, another shout out, which is III Sports Cards Incorporated. They're on 5th Avenue in Moline, and you can also find them on eBay. III Sports Cards Incorporated. Mike, we're going to go over to the NFL and look at week number 8.
Yeah.
Like the Bears were playing the Ravens. We both said the Bears would win. It was a disappointing loss with a backup quarterback in Tyler Huntley playing for the Ravens, as the Ravens won 30-16. The Bears dropped to 4-2, which Mike also matches or are they 4-3? Yeah, 4-3, which matches your win-loss record in picking the Bears games. I'm 5-2.
Yep.
Mike, I was kind of disappointed with that game.
Yeah.
In watching the game, the announcers were saying, hey, this is, with Tyler Huntley under center, this is the type of offense that would somewhat be running. They had Lamar Jackson underneath center as opposed to Cooper Rush, who was under center during that losing streak once Lamar Jackson went out. But I still thought with a backup quarterback, the Bears should have won that game.
Yeah, I agree. The problem is that I don't know. It's hard. They shot themselves in the foot, and not enough people watch this for this really to matter, but Friday night, I didn't talk about it. Okaboji lost their football game in the playoffs. The biggest reason why they lost, they shot themselves in the foot. Penalties, stupid plays, allowing things to get out of hand and not playing the game that they came to play. So, NASCAR, the same thing happened on Sunday when I watched the Bears play. So,
Okay.
It's hard to watch teams do that to themselves. So, okay.
Gotcha. Mike, lock of the week.
Lock of the week. I'm going to pick, our locks of the week last week. I picked the Colts over the Titans. The Colts won, bringing my record to 6-2. Or you picked the Colts over the Titans, bringing your record to 6-2. And I picked the Bucks over the Saints. Bucks won 23-3. I am 8-0 on the season for locks of the week. Rich, upsets of the week. You picked the Cowboys over the Broncos. Man, you cannot pick an upset this year, as your upsets are now 0-8. As the Broncos won 44-24.
Two on that game, though. I guess I didn't realize. but not that it would have mattered anyway. But two funny things there. I think they pointed out that the Cowboys have a long losing streak with the Denver Broncos, and us both being old school Simpsons episodes, not before Disney more control of it.
Yeah.
They pointed out that in the episode where Hank Scorpio gives as a going away present, Homer Simpson asked for, I want to own the Dallas Cowboys. At the end of that episode, Hank Scorpio gives him the Denver Broncos because the Cowboys just weren't for sale. Couldn't do it. Since that episode, the Cowboys have never beaten the Denver Broncos.
Wow. Wow.
Just something weird that came up on my Facebook feed.
That is crazy. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I'm 0-8 in picking upsets. I don't know.
How'd I do on
There wasn't
upsets of the
very many
week?
good upsets on the docket last week. So, Mike, you went with the Steelers over the Packers. This was kind of would have been a no-win situation for me because I don't like either team.
It would have been a no-win situation for me, by the way, because I hate Aaron Rodgers.
Okay. The Packers won 35-25. So, Mike, you're 4-4 on upset specials.
Rich, Thursday night we saw the Ravens versus the Dolphins. We both picked the Ravens. The Ravens won 28-6. What does that do for our ranking or for our record?
I'm 6-4 on midweek games. You are 4-6. So the aftermath of this game in Miami, the GM is out.
Yep.
Chris Greer has been let go. Mike McDaniel supposedly is safe for the rest of this season.
Honestly, I think that makes sense. You don't firing a coach mid-season never really goes super well. You're not allowed to pick up the guy that you want because the guy that you want is probably on a team elsewhere. Best case scenario, you promote somebody from within who was Mike McDaniel's guy, and that guy does terrible. That's the best case scenario. Because the worst case scenario is you promote from within, that guy does amazingly well, and your fan base requires that you give that guy a shot for another year.
Yep, and then your GM coach cycle is off because then your GM didn't get to pick the guy.
This is the smart move.
So I'll give you that because there was that's what happened in Oakland when Rich Bisaccia got the job. We got the interim job when the Raiders had pressure to let go of John Gruden by the league because of the bad emails that got leaked between him and a GM of another team who they used to work together. Got leaked. Bisaccia did great. The Raiders even went to the playoffs, but Bisaccia didn't get the job full time.
Yeah, it's a lose-lose situation firing your coach mid-season. It's as much as there's times like last year with the Bears, I wanted them to fire him mid-season. I was done with him. But I think they did the right choice and kept an even head about themselves and let him go. And now we have a guy that I think could be a great coach for us.
Yep, I agree so far. All right, week number 9. We'll get into our power rankings after we give our picks for week number 9. Mike, the Bears continue their schedule against the AFC North, but this time they're going to be going down to Cincinnati. They're going into the jungle to face the Bengals.
I think the Bears win this one. The Bengals are not a good team. I have the Bears winning.
All right, I'm going to stick with my preseason pick of giving this a loss. This was originally a loss because I thought that Joe Burrow was going to be healthy. They have Joe Flacco underneath center, but the offensive weapons are still there in T. Higgins, Chase Brown, and Jamar Chase.
And I'm here for Joe Flacco. I'm
still going to give them the Bengals. I'm going to give them a Bengal win.
I'm here for Joe Flacco, but I still think that I want the Bears to win. Lock of the week, Rich. It's a even week, right? No, it's an odd week. It's my week.
An odd week, so you have it.
With that, I'm going to pick the Cowboys over the Cardinals.
All right, it's not a bad pick. Call of Duty is out, so that means Kyler Murray doesn't play as well. And I think the Cowboys are desperate for a win, too.
Yep.
Mike, I'm going to have to pick against the team bottom 5 in the power rankings again, and I'm going to go with the Rams over the 8s.
That's not a bad pick either. Rich, upset specials. I'm going to pick the Vikings over the Lions. This week was terrible for upsets of the week because there aren't a lot of good picks.
Yeah, I agree. There's one that we both avoided, and which was the Chiefs and the Bills, because I think that game is just so close. It's in Buffalo, but the Kansas City offense seems to be back on track.
However,
they have Rice.
However, the Kansas City Chiefs do a terrible job against the Bills in the regular season.
Yeah.
But they don't care because they win in the postseason.
Mm-hmm. So the matchup that I'm going to go with for an upset to hopefully snap my streak or to just keep it going at this point is I'm going to go with the Raiders over the Jaguars. The Jaguars are having injury problems right now. While both teams are struggling to put points on the board, I think the Raiders need a victory more than the Jaguars, and it's in Vegas. This is like Jaguar fans really travel very well. So
yeah, speaking of
they'll lose their home field advantage.
Speaking of the Raiders, Thursday night's game is the Raiders versus the Broncos in Denver. Divisional match. You never know what's going to happen, but I still think it's going to be the Broncos. They're the better team.
Yep, I agree, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Raiders win because they seem to get up for these division games for whatever reason.
Yep. With that, Rich, let's put a pin in the NASCAR or in the NFL. Let's make some left turns as we talk playoffs and get ready for Game 7.
Mm-hmm.
As we talk about baseball, we had the World Series, the Blue Jays and the Dodgers. Rich, just to remind the folks, before this was even determined, I thought the Dodgers were going to win it all. I think I said at the beginning of the year, I thought the Dodgers were going to win it all.
We both said at the beginning of the year when we were making these predictions, all right, who's going to lose to the Dodgers in the World Series?
Yeah, so, the Dodgers are the team, and I've been saying it for a while. I stand by that, and I would have taken the Jays if you would have insisted on taking the pick, but you graciously gave me the pick, and so I got the Dodgers. But
I'm feeling good about it.
I think you should be.
The Jays are doing really well.
Let's also be honest, though, that the Dodgers have been doing terrible. Their offense has not been what it has been all year. In most of the playoffs, actually. But especially in this World Series, has not gotten it in where they normally have. They are not looking great. We'll see.
It's been a fun game. It's a fun series.
Yep.
I think it's. I've enjoyed watching the games with my wife. I think the only game we didn't watch some or all of was game number 2 because that's when we have our missional community night. With our church group, so I didn't watch game number 2. Other than watched most of the games. I think I only watched half of the game 3 marathon game.
So you only watched an entire baseball game before they played a second entire baseball game. Is what you tell me.
I believe I watched it because I had some coursework. I had some studying I needed to get done, and then doing some dishes and getting the garbage out. I had some other household stuff to get done.
I watched that whole game. Actually,
I think I watched it from like the 7th. I think I watched it from the 6th or 7th through the 17th inning.
Yeah, I watched. Yeah, that was a great game. That was awesome.
The second longest game, World Series game in history. Shohei Ohtani was on base 9 times.
Walked 5 of them.
Walked 5 of them, yeah.
4 intentional walks, 1 unintentional intentional walk.
Okay, yep. So the kind of like the storyline that you can take out of the game was that the winning pitcher will climb, the last man out of the bullpen 4 shutout innings, throwing a career high 72 pitches.
I forgot. I'm mad at myself. I let my kids pick which hat I wore today, and they picked this one. I now remembered I wanted to wear a Quad City River Bandits hat. You know why?
Did Will Klein pitch for the Bandits?
Will Klein pitched in 2020 for the Quad City River Bandits. Or 21.
I did not know that Will Klein pitched in the Quad City.
Yeah. Makes
for
me
the
sad.
Bandits.
By the way, makes me sad because I would go to at least one game a year. So I would have gotten to see Will Klein play.
Could have.
I probably would have gotten to see Will Klein play.
Yeah.
Man,
and the other...
that guy, I just got to say, I am very upset. I understand that the World Series is not about baseball fans. Baseball fans watch. Baseball fans don't care. Baseball fans understand. And they're gonna know the name Will Klein for years to come. However, the post-game interviews, where was Will Klein? The winning pitcher didn't get. You know who got talked to? Freddie Freeman.
His interpreter.
Freddie Freeman, who hit the game-winning winner, and Shohei Ohtani's, as you said, Shohei Ohtani's interpreter, because Shohei Ohtani, and I'm not saying that if you're going to play baseball, you got to learn English. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying his interpreter was the one that went through and did the interview. I mean, he essentially conducts the interview and does the interview all at the same time. I get that. That's part of having an international players. But why don't you talk to Will Klein?
Yeah, it may be later on in the post. Maybe the local radio feed was the one that got the Klein interview first.
That's the interview I wish I would have seen. But Japan is a huge market. I'm guaranteed that there was 1 million people watching in Japan at the time.
All right. Then Game 5, the odd tidbit to come out of that game is that Davis Schneider, and Vlad Guerrero became the first teammates to hit back-to-back homers to start a World Series game. And Trey Savage set a rookie record by getting 12 Ks in a game. And the other thing is that this dude started in A-ball and has more postseason wins than regular season wins. So that'd be like, Mike, you watching a player go into a Bandits game early in April or May, seeing a guy start the pitch, and then fast forward all the way to October,
and he's in the World Series.
He's skyrocketed up the system that much that he's pitching in the World Series.
Yeah, that is crazy. And by the way, it would be in the Quad Cities, because he probably was in high A, not low A ball. Because a guy that's on that trajectory is not going to go into low A ball.
Probably.
So, yeah, that's...
But he was in A ball, so I don't know if he would have... I don't know if the Blue Jays have an affiliate in the Midwest League. But, yeah, in theory, it could have been possible for him to pitch a game at John O'Donnell in this series. So that's crazy to see how much he's done. I don't think any big tidbits or oddities came out of games 2 and 6. Yamamoto pitched another great game.
How about the fact that Yamamoto was ready to pitch? He was going to pitch the 19th inning. Yeah, 2 days after pitching an entire game in Game 2, which we didn't talk about.
Yeah. Well, no, yeah, it was... He only had a full day of rest.
He had 1 day rest and came back and was like, Coach, I'm ready. And they're like, I mean, we got nobody else. They put him in. If Freddie Freeman doesn't hit that home run and they don't score a point in that 18th, by the way, we didn't even mention that ties for the most amount of innings in a baseball, in a World Series. It is the second longest in hours by 6 hours and 39 minutes. I don't remember what the other game was, but
they wouldn't have had any choice because they couldn't have brought in a position player.
Yeah, you can't.
Because they had used them all as pinch hitters.
Right.
They were done.
And they could have done a double switch theoretically. Now, that also brings up the most interesting stuff about Game 7, which we're going to talk about here in a minute.
I think they might have been able to put Shohei on the mound.
Right.
But then they sacrificed their Game 4 starter.
Right.
They would have sacrificed their Game 4 starter. Or they, because I don't know if they even had Glass. Glass now started that game, so he wouldn't have been in the picture.
Okay, so he played at the Vancouver Canadians, which is the Blue Jays high A team, by the way.
Okay. Not in the same league as the Bandits. So yeah, that game is just crazy to think how the Blue Jays were out of pitchers too.
Yeah,
they would have had to have gone to their game two starter.
Or they I don't know who they would have gone to. It's crazy. Lots of things to unpack here with this entire series. One, in long games, the winner of the long game generally has been the winner of the World Series. We could see that broken. But when one team, and apparently I was wrong on my statistics last week when I said it, but when one team sweeps and the other goes 7 games, the 7-game winner has never lost the World Series. How crazy is that?
And I think in the broadcast yesterday, they were also talking with no team that has hit a batting average under the Mendoza line. There's only been one World Series team that's been able to do that, and the Dodgers as a team are hitting under 200 in the World Series.
The fact that you have any player under 200 in the World Series is ridiculous to me. In one series, maybe, but in general, I don't know. In the playoffs overall, you can't have that. Now,
Game 7's tonight.
Yep. Interesting fact. Because of the way the rules are written, Shohei Ohtani has to be the starter tonight, essentially.
Yes, because if they were to bring him into the game from the bullpen, they lose him as a hitter once they would change their pitcher.
Yep.
It's a special rule. I mean, a special rule was written just for him because I think.
And here's the other part: if they can put him in as a reliever, but the other side of that rule is if they do a mound visit to keep his bat in. I don't understand how this is the rule. It makes zero sense other than it's the Shohei Ohtani rule. If they want to keep him in the bat as a bat, they have to do a double switch on the first mound visit, mind you, put him into a position player, and then bring another batter out or another pitcher out, and that pitcher technically has to bat at the position that whatever the position player like you would do a normal double switch type situation. And then
I did not know that part. I thought that would only be an issue. I did not know that it was a double switch thing. If you want to keep him in the lineup. So you have the option to keep him in his bat in the lineup, but in order to do that, you have to move him to be a position player, and he has to stay as a position player in order to keep playing. And by the way, he's still as the designated hitter. He doesn't change that, so you lose the designated hitter still because you can't have. Then your pitcher becomes whatever that other position is, and that pitcher, when you change pitchers, that you then have to pinch hit every time, or your pitcher has to pitch. No. Okay. Not how how it works. So the starting pitcher is listed twice. Oh, okay, sorry.
This is what they were saying last night. I'm just going off of what Schmaltz and.
Okay, no, that would be the case if he were to be a reliever if
Right.
he were to come into the game as a reliever.
Right. That's what I was saying. Sorry.
If he's the starting pitcher, if he's the starting pitcher, then he can stay. He can be designated as he's also the designated hitter, and when he is removed from being, when they put a
Right.
reliever in the spot on the mound, he stays as the DH.
That's what I'm sorry. I tried to qualify that, Rich. I tried to say.
Okay.
I tried to say that at the beginning. I said you can keep him in the bat, but you lose the designated hitter, and you don't lose the designated hitter. Shohei is the designated hitter, but the relief pitchers, every relief pitcher either has to bat or you have to pinch hit for that guy, which means you effectively lose those players throughout the game. So the only thing that makes sense is to play Shohei Ohtani as your starter / opener.
Yes, because if you didn't use him as an opener and used him as a reliever, once you took him out of the game as the reliever, you'd lose him as the DH. So I think they were debating, all right, then if you're not going to have him be the starting pitcher, then you got to use him as the closer.
Yeah.
And I hope it doesn't go into extra innings.
Hope he doesn't blow the save.
Stay on the mound, or he's going to have to stay on the mound.
Or
you in the lineup.
You say, okay, whoever our next position player gets to be the DH, and we're going to take him out. We're going to do that. So either way, not a great situation. Like it is. It's one of those hard situations, but not great situations. Game 7 tonight, Fox, winner take all, and then tomorrow, NBC has winner take all for the NASCAR corner or for NASCAR, and then finally, let's go. Do you want to do our power rankings? We're at 46 minutes, and we are at 8:53. So okay,
I think we can make it work.
Okay, we have an esports update that we'll do after this. It's real quick. Things are a little odd with that, which we'll get into. Okay, so Rich, let's start off our power rankings with number 1. Rich, who do you have as number 1?
All right, Mike. Without getting into too much debate, because we do have a limited time, I still went with the Detroit Lions here.
I went with the Indianapolis Colts again. They won.
Oh.
Number 2 is the Detroit Lions.
This is where I have the Colts. So I moved them up. Despite my issues with their strength of schedule, but you can't control your schedule.
Yep. Number 3, I have the Philadelphia Eagles.
I put the Chiefs here.
Okay.
Yes, there are teams that have better records than them, but they're finally clicking as a team now.
Okay. And I'm close with you on that because I have them number 4.
That's where I put the Eagles.
And at number 5, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Me too.
Quietly just doing what they got to do down there. And you know what? I'm becoming more and more of a fan of Baker Mayfield. And, I don't want the Bucs to win the World Series because...
Super Bowl,
because Bucs fans are annoying when they win the Super Bowl. But, man... I want Baker.
Fans are annoying when they win the Super Bowl because their last Super Bowl was a Tom Brady Super Bowl.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You didn't necessarily have Bucs fans. You had Tom Brady fans saying
That's
you
true
were the
too.
greatest of all time.
That's true too. But Bucs fans are annoying. But I want Baker Mayfield to win a Super Bowl. I do.
He got treated in Cleveland.
From everything, yeah. The way he got treated in Cleveland. He deserves it, and to rub the Browns nose in their dog poop of a team. Number 6, Rich. Who do you got?
I put the 49ers here.
Yeah,
I'm not
I agree.
confident with the pick, but they're winning games and they're doing it with backups, as a lot of their stars are injured right now.
Yep. I think this one's as much on Kyle Shanahan as it is anything. They keep winning, and I believe in Kyle Shanahan, so I'm gonna agree with you on that. At number 7, Rich, who do you got?
This is where you put the Rams.
This is where I put the Seahawks, but I understand that the Rams did beat the Seahawks, so the Seahawks, I get your reasoning at least in this one, but I think the Seahawks are slightly a better team. The Rams just got them on a bad day, so that's kind of what I said.
All right, I put the Seahawks at number 8, so we're not that far off.
And that's where I have the Rams. By the way, how about 6, 7, and 8 for the NFC West?
Yeah.
That's
going to be that's a tough division.
Yeah.
Tough division.
Yeah.
Number 9, Mike, I went with the New England Patriots.
Number 9, I have the Buffalo Bills.
Okay. Bills is where I have number 10.
Okay, and at number 10, I have the New England Patriots. By the way, let's round out the NFC West.
The Denver Broncos is where I put them at 11.
No. Who do you have
What?
in the NFC West? The Cardinals. Where do you have them?
Oh, the Cardinals, I put them all the way down at number 26.
I have them. Oh, I have them down at I have them at 26 as well. Just because we did the 3. So
Very well.
Okay. Where do you have? What's your next highest NFC North team? By the way,
The NFC North team. There actually are my top-rated North team. Would be the. We're talking NFC.
NFC North.
AFC.
NFC North.
The NFC North.
The ones that we care about. The
Okay, so nobody in the Bears division is in the top 10.
Yes, you do. You have the Lions.
Okay, the Lions. So I'm sorry.
You have the Lions, and then after the Lions, who do you have?
I put the Packers being at number 13.
So I'm going to let you give out your other rankings, and then I'm going to give you my rankings for the NFC North.
Okay, I put the Bears at number 15, and then the Vikings at 17.
So I have the Packers at 15, the Bears at 16, and the Vikings at 17.
Okay.
I think they are very equally rated, and I think that's just that's where they need to be, and so that's where it's at. Okay, now let's go to our bottom 5. Let's start at the bottom, or you want to do bottom or top of the bottom 5?
We'll work our way from the bottom up.
Okay,
So
32.
Worst, the Titans.
Yeah. Thank you for finally admitting that the Titans are worse than the Jets. I understand that the Jets hadn't won a game, but I think the Titans are a worse team. Jets finally win a game, that puts them up to 30. Or they remain at 31 for me.
Me too. They won a game. They beat a good Bengals team, even though a Joe Burrow-less Bengals team, but they still got the win.
Okay, who do you got at 30?
The Aints.
Yep. 29, I have the dog poop Browns.
I put the Dolphins here, mostly because there's a head-to-head matchup between the Browns and the Dolphins. So you got to give the edge to the head-to-head matchup.
I can agree with that, except I hate the Browns, and I think they are a flaming pile of dog crap. There's a reason why there's a reason why their place is called the Dog Pound, because they lay a bunch of poop on the ground. Hate them. And then the Dolphins are 28. The Dolphins are 28.
And that's where I put the Browns.
Yeah. And who do you got at 27? We'll go up to 27.
Okay. 27 is where I put the Raiders.
Me too. And by the way, and then we have the Cardinals both at 26. So, yeah. Good power rankings. I think that's a fair assessment of most of those teams. Next week, when we have a little bit more time, I think we have more time next week, we'll go through and do the entirety of the series. We'll do the whole thing next week. Okay, Rich, with that, quick esports update. We beat the Spirit Lake pretty handily. And then I did some research. It actually looks like we have a good chance at getting a play-in game.
So you might get a play-in game to make it into state?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if we get a play-in game, there's a good chance. There's a very good chance that we end up going to state. Because, Rich, we are the only team in the state to play all 3 of the top 3 teams in the state. Like, we played Forest City, Esterville, and Sheldon. Sheldon beat beat Estherville for Estherville's only loss. Otherwise, Estherville's one of the top teams. By the way, also Estherville won last year the tournament. Won against Forest City, and Forest City and Sheldon is who they beat in their second round. So it was the top four are last year were us, Sheldon, Estherville, and Forest City, and we graduated half of our team or 3/4 of our team. So, there's a good possibility that this year we still make the playoffs. Slight, but I think it's still a decent possibility.
All right. So tune in next week to find out if the Pioneers are going to state in Super Smash Brothers. So, Mike, things that we've kept on our quick hits that we're going to keep kicking down the road are some news with the UFL and also some banana ball sites.
Yeah,
that are coming into our area.
And something that's on there that we haven't actually wrapped up is the Cubs season in review. We'll do that probably next week, maybe the week after, depending on how this Game 7 goes. If this Game 7 is a slog, it may take a 15-minute talk about the Game 7. And if it does, then we'll kick it down the road one more week, and we'll do it officially as the season's over. With that, Rich, you got a big shout-out to give.
A happy birthday to my dad.
The scariest man on earth.
Yeah, because his birthday is on Halloween.
Yep.
So that's another reason why we tend to maybe shy away from Halloween, because it's my dad's birthday. I'd rather go out with my birthday. If given the choice between handing out candy and taking my dad out for his birthday, it's going to be taking my dad out for birthday.
Oh, I agree. So, with that, Rich.
Did you miss one with your mom a week ago?
I did. Last Saturday was Mom's birthday. She's the 25th. So, kind of forgot that one. That's my bad. That is my bad.
Yeah. So happy birthday, Sue. Belated birthday to Sue. All right, Mike. As we wrap things up here, if they're watching us here on YouTube, but they just want the audio version and a way to listen to us at their leisure, Mike, where can they find the show?
They can anywhere where you find your podcasts. Google Podcasts, which I think is YouTube Podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I believe it still goes there, but I'm not sure. It's been a while. And anyway, and Rich, if they want to follow the show and they want to participate in our poll questions and keep up to date with our show, where should they go?
Look us up on Facebook. So you can find our poll question on Fans of Balls and Sticks, as well as on Mike and I's page. If you send us a friend request, we'll also accept it. So as well, and then you can always find the weekly show over on YouTube. So make sure to, wherever you watch or listen to us, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yep.
So, Mike, with all that, let's go ahead and roll the outro.
Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa, this is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich.